guys, how are you? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Priscilla and I make YouTube videos about career, travel and lifestyle and yeah, anything in between. So today I have come to just get ready with me, get ready with me and just a chit chat. And yeah, so I realized that the community is growing and I have never really done a video about why I started doing YouTube or something of that sort. So I thought I would just put on my makeup and we chit chat. One about why I started doing YouTube and also another one is what I've learned through my therapy. So I thought I'll just share with you guys since I got a few DMs about after I mentioned that I am in therapy in my previous vlog. And yeah, so I just wanted to share that, and I'm not going to do a walk you through my makeup, but you guys are seeing my hair, it's popping. I've been taking some supplements. I think I'll show you guys the supplements after. I don't know. I mean, I've always had good hair, but I don't know if the supplements have also sort of increased, but I feel like my hair is now a huge bush, so I don't know what to do with it. Anyway, let's get into. So my eyebrows are already done. I'll be looking here where my mirror is in case I'm not looking right here. I'll be looking here. So yeah. So I'm going to start with just prepping and priming my face. So why did I start YouTube? First of all, I really thank you so much for all of you who are subscribing. It's amazing to see how much we have grown. Like, you know, yeah, like we started from like zero, like literally zero. Like I said, this channel in 2020, yeah, 2020. I think at the beginning, I honestly can't remember, but I had always toyed with the idea. So I did my eyebrows off camera, so yeah, I'm not going to do them here. So I had always toyed with the idea of starting a YouTube channel because I really enjoyed YouTube as a platform, like from the days of Jenny Jenkins, the days of Patricia Bright. I'm not wearing eyelashes and I feel naked. I didn't realize how much I'm used to artificial lashes lately. So my esthetician suggested that I give myself a break so that you don't lose your natural lashes. If you end up doing too much, like back to back, you may end up losing your natural lashes. Wow. So anyway, I said YouTube. One, I am not here on YouTube to be anyone's role model. I'm not here to be anything for anyone. I'm just here. I think actually the person who gave me the language for what I wanted to do with my YouTube channel she's called Rachel Cargo. I hope I'm saying her name rightly. On Instagram, she said something that resonated with me, and she said that I think the term is called a possibility model. Let me see what I wrote it down. So basically, a possibility model is someone who reveals one possible way of being human in this world to you. So yeah, so that's the reason I'm on YouTube, or the reason I love social media, is I feel like social media for me has shown me so many possibility models, you know, like different ways of doing life and existing and not being put in a box. And yeah, so I know I have some male followers who may not necessarily find makeup fun, but I'm sorry guys, just get with the. I'm going to try to use this duo backstage. I got 6.5 neutral. If you saw one of my old vlogs during lockdown, that's when I picked this up, but it's a bit lighter. So I mix it with this Urban Decay Naked Skin foundation just to give me my perfect shade. Anyway, back to the conversation. I said that when I saw what possibility model is, I realized, oh my God, this is exactly what I want on my YouTube channel. It's not like I'm trying to say there's one way of existing, because I've met people who keep saying, oh, they're lawyers and they have all these interests outside doing law and they just feel like they're so boxed in and stuff like that. And I realized, oh yeah, like there's all these expectations that we put on ourselves. And I was like, no, not necessarily. You don't have to exist a certain way. So the reason I'm on YouTube, guys, is just to be a possibility model, to show you that there is various ways of existing. I'm not perfect. I'm flawed. I don't want to be put on anyone's pedestal. Yeah, like my value system is mine. I'm not here to tell you how to live your life. I'm just here to show you the various ways you can exist. So if you vibe with it, feel free to stay. If you don't, feel free to leave. So there is no one way of existing, basically. That's why I'm on YouTube. So yeah, anyway, I'm just going to go in so you can see that this foundation is a bit lighter for my skin complexion. But when I mix it in with the Urban Decay, the dark version, I tend to get my actual color. So I'm just going to forward this and then come back. 'Cause I know you can hear, and I won't say my love for nobody else. Won't say my... Okay, so guys, I finished dabbing in my foundation, and yeah, so this is how it looks like. It looks a little bit darker for me, I think, but I feel like it's my right complexion when I mix the two in, because I feel like if I wear the Dior Backstage 6.5 neutral, it just is too light for my complexion. But I feel like this is such a perfect a perfect fit. So yeah, guys, that's why I said YouTube, and it's been a beautiful journey. It's been a very fulfilling journey to just see you guys vibing with the content, and to see, you know, community, like people who feel like, you know, life should be lived a similar way, and just joining along. So thank you so much for those who are subscribing and those who are sharing the content, the video. Like, honestly, it's very nice to meet people and like, oh my god, I watched like my plants, Namsoke, how is Namsoke doing? I'm like, Namsoke is doing so well. So it's really nice to meet other plant mamas and plant papas and just share. So thank you guys. Then on to the next. So I think I'll also just dab a bit to give it a more natural finish. Yeah, and then, so yeah, you guys saw in my past video that I have been in therapy for, I think it's coming to 9 months now. Can you imagine? Guys, I'm so proud of myself. I started out as just a thing of experimenting, but it's been, and the things that I felt like I'd gone in to deal with, actually, we ended up dealing with much more than that. So I'm super, super grateful and excited about that. So I'm just now going to go in with the Maybelline Fit Me Concealers. You guys, these concealers, I have been sleeping on them. I saw Maya use them in her Get Ready With Me, and I was like, oh my god, I have these, but I had not, you know, used them in a while. But then when I used them, I realized why we all started out liking Maybelline when we just started our makeup journeys. I remember my first foundation, I think, was the Maybelline, the old one in the as if tube like. I think it was Super Stay, but the old formulation. And then of course I liked Revlon, so it really felt nice to just go back to this oldie but goodie. So yeah, so what things that I've learned in therapy. I have them of course on my phone as usual. You guys know I tried to prep for these videos, so yeah, the first thing that I'll talk about is, first of all, what was my criteria when I was looking for a therapist. So I'm just going to go in and do sort of, how did I say? Yeah, dab the concealer. So one of the criteria that I was looking out for when I was looking for a therapist was, one, I wanted one who's like African, because I just felt like it would be easier for us to relate. And I also wanted a woman, yeah, because I felt like if I would, I felt like she could understand. I know that men could, a male therapist wouldn't, but for me, I just felt like maybe if I explain to a woman, you know, what I'm going through, they can relate easier, and probably they've dealt with clients like me. And then, yeah, so, and there's different kinds of therapy. I'm not an expert, but for me, the one I wanted was the one that you just talk with someone and just sort of, you know, dig through stuff. So that's what I really opted for. And I found my therapist as a recommendation from someone who had, you know, been there with her, and she had really seen amazing results. Guys, forgive my blending sponge, it's dirty. I do makeup every day, so yeah. And yeah, so that's how I ended up, you know, settling for her. I researched about her, like, you know, her credentials and stuff like that. And when I sent her the email, she was very quick to respond and very like professional. So for me, that really gave me the confidence to go ahead. So what have I learned? One, so I've been in therapy for 9 months, if you wonder. I started out in September last year. And yeah, when I went there, it was as just experiment, and yeah, just turning, I think, how old was I turning then? I don't remember, but I think I was turning 32, yeah, I was turning 32, yeah. So it was just one of those things of tick a box, and mama, it ended up being one of the best decisions I have done for myself after, knowing Christ. So the first thing that have learned from, and I'm still learning, is that I am a very logical person. Like, the way I am is I will think through stuff. So sometimes I don't allow myself to feel. And but emotions are valid and emotions are valuable. And just because I think at some point when you're so logical, you tend to think everything and not want to feel. And because you'll be like, maybe that will make you seem weak and stuff like that, or it will just make you go into a deeper shell and stuff. But I have learned that emotions are valuable and you must feel them. I think for me the difference is I do not want to wallow in self-pity. So like whenever a would come up, like I'd be so quick to try to find a solution to what it is that's going on, because I'm like, if we stay here, maybe you'll get into depression, maybe, but it's okay. Emotions are valuable, and just as much as logic. I think both can coexist and both are good. So I don't think that there is need to vilify one over the other, right? So I'm going to go in with my, how do they call it? Setting powder, the Laura Mercier one. And then the second one that I learned is that, guys, the way we are raised as children really affects us. Like, and it doesn't have to be a bad childhood. That's the thing. Like, I think sometimes, like, I remember when we would be talking with my therapist, I'm like, I've had a great childhood. Like, I've had great parents, a great family and stuff like that. And it's not about having grown up in an abusive home, or in a place where you are in extreme lack or something like that. It's not all neglect. It's not just that. It's just also the patterns that you see when you are a young child that somehow tend to come back as you are in your adulthood, and you tend to mirror those same patterns. So yeah, like, it was very, 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 very interesting for us to have that discussion with my therapist and see that, yeah, like the way we are brought up, and like when you trace some of the things that you are uncomfortable with, or the sources of anxiety, it all comes from either your childhood, your school life, like the things that you were told. And most of these things are not necessarily bad. Like, for example, things like hard work, or things like being kind, or like, they're not necessarily bad, but I think it's because they're over glorified, I think. So you tend to take on patterns that don't necessarily favor you when you get much older. So I was like, oh, that's very, very interesting. And like, if you watched my vlog, last week's vlog, I think I talked about that sometimes after therapy, I just need to catch my breath, like, because I'm like, I feel like I have dug deep, because that where I am, I'm such a keep it moving person. So sometimes you never know how much actually you've buried, and therapy really gets you there. Like, you go. So yeah, like, it's been an interesting journey. And then the third one is, guys, people pleasing has levels to it. I've always known that. So one of the things that I'm going to contour and I come back to talk, because I can't contour. If you guys have seen me do this, I can't contour and talk at the same time. So, but maybe I can actually. Let me try. So like, I think most women, I won't say only men, but I won't say only, but I think most women or girls struggle with people pleasing at some point in our lives, and we think that people pleasing is simply saying yes all the time, or being like a yes person. And and I knew I had some levels of people pleasing, but it was also interesting to see that there is actually various levels to this people pleasing thing. Like, it was very, very interesting for me to witness that, and like, okay, it's not just one aspect. There is quite a number of aspects to this thing. And like, for me, I think the people pleasing really comes from the fact that I'm trying to read, because I wrote some of them down, like what I wanted to just share with you. There was just that fear of, because like, how can I say? I know who I am. I know I'm kind. I know I'm gracious and all these things. So in terms of people pleasing, where for me, I realized with my therapist, like sometimes it would come out, is you fear people to perceive you in a way that you're not. Like, someone would come and say, maybe Priscilla is unkind, and that would just be such a bother. Like, you're like, because you're not. So you sort of go out of your way to prove that, and it's been such a beautiful thing to see that you don't have to, and people will always perceive you the way they want anyway. So you just you have to let go of that fear, because it just can really cripple you. So it's been a beautiful thing to see and to just sort of learn and see. And also that thing that, so for example, like, I come from a family of very, very strong women. My sisters are very ambitious, very driven, and very hardworking. And at home, for me, I felt like when you are young and you're like, your sisters are washing clothes, like my sister's very proactive. At home, I'm not the one who you'll find in the kitchen cooking. So and that can be perceived as lazy. So you take on some of those things, and then when you're in your adulthood, you want to prove that you don't want to be perceived as lazy. So even that also plays into your the way you work chronic, like you always want to be productive. So even like when you're resting, you feel guilty. Resting, you must be doing something, maybe shooting a YouTube video, maybe reading a book, like the whole idea of just lazing around. And for me now, I intentionally laze around just so that I do not feel the need to always be like, I have to be productive, I have to be doing something, building my muscle somewhere, So I was like, that's very, 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 very interesting to realize. So I am going now to just brush away all this and and just come back. So give me a minute. I'm back. I'm done. So I'm just going to spritz my face and so just continuing on that people pleasing thing. Yeah, so like there's a book that I read that started that when I had realized that issue when I was I think in campus, towards the end of campus, I realized there's an issue here. There's an issue here, like saying no. I would feel guilty saying no because I want to, to all, and I'm like, you can't always be there for so many people and stuff like that. And people will take advantage of that when they know. Right? Whew, it feels so nice to spritz your face. Anyway, so I was saying, people will take advantage of you if they know that you have this weakness. So it's very, very important that if you even see a bit of people pleasing, you need to try to deal with it before people take advantage of it, and then you get hurt and stuff like that. So then the fourth one that I learned was because I'm a peacemaker. That's who I am. And I think before I go there, let's go to my next lesson. So then my fourth is I didn't know that I had a skewed idea or a skewed definition of what confrontation looks like. So I'm going to go in to do my eyes. And just a simple basic eye makeup. I don't do a lot in terms of eyeshadow and stuff like that. So yeah, I was saying that I didn't realize that I had a skewed idea. So I'm not confrontational. Like, I'm not that person who, if you did something too, I will come screaming. And that's how I thought confrontation was, screaming and stuff like that. But I also thought confrontation was any uncomfortable conversation. Like, I was not good at uncomfortable conversations. If 2 years ago, that me would just be like, what? Because I'm logical in my head, I would think through it. I'm like, is this worth my peace? Is this worth talking about? I deal with it myself and move on, And it's good because it protects me. But then at the end of the day, you're not also offering feedback to the person who needs to grow and change and deal with that toxic behavior that they have. You get, because what you've done is you've just ignored it and moved on and acted like it's not there. For you, you're at peace, but also the person that you've done them a disservice, because I feel like it's important to give your friends feedback on things that they are not necessarily doing right, if they ask. Sometimes, man, you can give feedback and it backfires in your face. But yeah, anyway, so I that's how I really used to view confrontation, and it's really skewed. Like it's a very skewed idea, because it's very important to have those uncomfortable conversations, because if you don't, there's no growth for both you and also for the person involved. So, and I started making small steps. I think that was even before therapy. I realized I'm not good at hard conversations. My friends would tell me. So I started making a few small changes. And what I would do is I would like prepare. I would write my notes like how I'm doing now. I would write my notes of what I want to say, because I don't want to reach there and get tongue-tied, you know. So even now, like if I prefer to write it than say it, because I feel like writing it, I'll be able to express myself much better than saying it. But I've been lucky that there's intimate relationships I've been in, and the uncles I was in as dating at that time was just so helpful in teaching me and helping me grow in that area, you know. So yeah, I think that confrontation is not bad, and confrontation is not the screaming, you know, thing. Anything, yeah, confrontation is, you can talk about stuff without necessarily raising voices or necessarily, you know, being agitated, but it's good to also have those uncomfortable and difficult conversations, because it's in those places where there's growth. And yeah, and if you don't have them, you're doing both yourself and the person involved a disservice. So yeah, if you really care about your friends, your people, your loved ones, yeah, you should have those difficult conversations. It's not easy, trust me. I can't even say I'm a pro at it. Like up to today, there's things that I probably would want to say that I've not said, and sometimes I'm like, is it worth it, Priscilla? Like, I'm in a good space. I'm okay. Like, like you forget about it. But then, yeah, like if you feel like you must say it, please consider learning and seeking out ways on how to be able to say it. So yeah, that is one of the things that I learned, that confrontation is not always bad. But then the other thing that I learned also, that I'm learning in parallel to that, is that I'm now much more accepting of myself, right? Because I feel like if like people around you, if they're confrontational, they'll think that's the only way life should be lived, you know? You must always be confrontational just like they are. And if you're a peacemaker, you also feel like everyone should just be a peacemaker and life goes on. But then there is a balance between the two. So I'm so accepting now, like, because I know I'm a peacemaker and that's who I am. I'm empathetic. I'm very logical. I see things from both sides, you know, and that also probably is even bolstered by my training and my role and my job, stuff like that. So I feel like there is no right or wrong. Being a confrontational person is not bad. Being a peacemaker is not bad. It's just a thing, and it's just how you apply it and the traits and the weaknesses that you expect in that situation that matters. So I was like, wow, like, you know, because I kept thinking I want to be more like those people, and you know, I'm like, no, that's not who I am. I'm a peacemaker. Like if you came to me screaming, I'll sit you down, we'll talk, and then I try to make you see logic, and that's my value that I bring, you know. So I'm super, like, through therapy, I've been more accepting of myself, and like, you know, that of course your therapist gives you practical tips and stuff on how to navigate that. So woo, guys, it's been such a great experience. And yeah, so let me finish my makeup, then I come back. And okay, so guys, another lesson that I learned is, I've done some of these things off camera just to make sure that the video doesn't take too long, is that, you know, romantic relationships, Jesus, my English, romantic relationships actually affect us. Like, you know, there's sometimes when you're like, oh nah, like that guy, no, he didn't mean anything to me. But like if you dig deep, you never know how much, like, you know, the hurt and trauma you're carrying from like those past intimate relationships. So it's like very interesting. Like, you know, like when we started just going through my ideas on intimate relationships and dating and stuff, and when we started digging deep, I realized, okay, I may have thought that didn't hurt, but actually that hurt, you know. And it was so nice for me to have that space to unpack it. But guys, this highlighter is so, I feel like it's so nice, you know, it just totally blends in really well. So yeah, like don't ignore past relationships and the pain that you may have felt. Like if you feel like, you know, if you feel like there's something you want to talk about, that happened, talk about it. Don't be shy, because you don't want to carry that trauma or that pain into your next relationship. So guys, it's just been such a nice experience, and I really can't thank God enough for that space, because it has really helped me unpack a lot. A lot of things. Like, I feel like the person that I was so many years ago, or a few years, even just 1 year ago, like if she met me, she'd be like, who are you, girl? Who are you? Anyway, so I'm going to go in with my, maybe let me spritz my face again. And then I'm going to go in with my lipstick. This is the Dance With Me, the Retro Matte. These are, I think this Dance With Me and the L'Oreal Represent number 144. I feel like I want some of the best lipsticks for women of color, for like dark skinned girls, because they're just such a nice red. So maybe I should wear, I think you guys have seen me wearing the Dance With Me. Let me wear the L'Oreal and you see how it looks. So this is how the lipstick looks. It's a nice red. It's not for the faint-hearted, yeah, but I like it. I feel like it just, you know, gives me a very nice, it makes my face pop. So yeah, guys, I think that winds up my makeup. So thank you so much for watching my video on what I learned from what I'm learning and what I've learned from my therapy so far. It's such a beautiful thing, and there's no stigma. If you feel like you need a space to talk to someone, a professional, about certain things that you feel like are going through, anxiety, stuff like that, there's no shame in it. Feel free to reach out, to talk to someone and get the help that you need. So thank you so much for watching. Please do subscribe if you have not yet subscribed, and yeah, leave me down a comment below. Let me know how I did on my Get Ready With Me. I enjoy makeup. I feel like makeup is such a good, not escape, but a good form of my artistry, right? Anyway, bye.